Found this online at Burbank Hobbies down in Southern California. It was a open box, so it was discounted quite a bit. The kit came totally complete except didn't have decals. But I contacted Burbank Hobbies and they sent me up a whole sheet of decals for this kit, absolutely free of charge. So check out their website. They've got some good deals there. All right. So this is a big box. A real nice kit. Really nice artwork on the front here. Let's see what it says. Length 320 millimeters, wingspan 418 millimeters. Total parts 374 pieces. Photo etched part 1 piece. Total sprues 10 pieces. Looking on the side of the box, a couple of examples of what you can build. Here's the usual stuff that you see in a lot of model boxes, some warnings. And here on the other side of the box, we have 4 pictures of a finished model, showing the wings folded. Here you have a paragraph on the side of the box with a little bit of history about it. And that's it. Okay, so now we're going to take a look inside the box. And it's packed with plastic and other materials. The instruction booklet. Which, since this was an open box, I went through earlier and did a parts check at the red X's showing that all the parts were here, except for the decals. Typical well laid out instructions from Trumpeter. And I'm curious to see how many steps there are. So we're going to turn towards the last couple of pages. These last few steps here are concerning building a tractor for moving this airplane around on the aircraft carrier. And then the last page, which is step 63, shows a drawing of the completed model with the tractor. So there we have it, 63 pages. Also, let's see here. There is a piece of film for the instrument panel and a small photo etch fret. Looks like seat belts. Okay. And also on top, nice color poster with a painting and marking guide. This side is the F6F-5N number 59 VMF-N 541 September 1945. On the other side, looks very similar at first glance. This is F6F-5N number 15 VFN 107 September 1944. Now, they give you the color callouts on this side right here. Up here in the top right corner. These are the color callouts. These are all Mr. Hobby or Mr. Color used. I'll figure that out as far as what to use with Tamiya paints. Okay. Then we got all this plastic. And besides the plastic, there's a box. Okay. Let's look in this box here. A separate box. And in this separate box we have a clear engine cowling. We have the windscreen and the instrument panel. We have the tires. The canopy and the windows, if you want to have the canopy open or windows open. Plus the light lens covers. And here is the photo etch fret with the seat belts. Okay. Alright, in this bag, I am seeing the two fuselage halves, bulkheads and firewalls and that sort of thing, cockpit seat, pilot seat, some wheel parts, here is the propeller, gas tank, middle section of the underside of the wing, here are all the main parts for the wings. Here is a sprue with the engine parts. This bag has two sprues in it and has, looks like parts for making bombs and a drop tank. Here are the tractor parts. This sprue is the tractor. Yeah, you get a model within the model kit of a tractor. I think to break things up a little bit, make it kind of fun, I will build this tractor first before I even start in the airplane. Okay, there's the parts. Here is the J sprue. The J sprue has the tractor on it. There's quite a few parts here for this tractor. And I'm going to go ahead and build this tractor first before I even start in the airplane. Just seems like a fun way to start this build. And so I'll get the instructions out and we'll start working on that. There are 4 main steps for building up this tractor. Some of the parts will be painted as we move along in the instructions. So, here's the fret. This is the J sprue. And we're going to start getting the parts we need to do this. I'm going to start with these 3 pieces right here. I've cut them off the sprue. Just have to tidy them up a bit. Two halves of the engine block, it looks like. Okay. Now we simply just glue these 2 halves together and add this other part to it. We'll dry fit them first, see how they work. Looks like they go together pretty well. Maybe give this one a little bit of a sanding job right there. Okay, that looks good. Let's add a little glue to this side. Get some clamps. Okay, we'll let that dry up and then I'll add this other part. While that part is drying, I'm going to go ahead and get some more parts here and start putting them together. This is the main chassis of the tractor. And we're going to get the tires. So this little piece is going to glue on right here onto the side of the engine block like that. So there's a couple of little pins that go in some holes, and we'll just add a little bit of glue there. There's the tractor engine block. I'll set that aside to dry. Then we're going to start on these tires. On this tractor, the rear tires are a two-piece tire. Two tires that are put together. And so these bigger tires, they have a molding seam line down the center. Go around the entire outside of all these tires. I've already sanded down these two, and I'm going to sand down these to get rid of that seam that's right along here from the molding process. So I'm just going to take my rough file here and sand down these seams. It's just a matter of going around and around. Till that ridge of the seam line is flattened out and gone. And it doesn't matter if you leave that outside of this tire sort of marked up by the sanding you did, because that'll give it a little bit more realism anyway. So we get that all sanded down. Take a brush and brush off all the loose plastic. And then we have that all sanded down, ready to go. You can run your finger on it, and if you don't feel that seam anymore, you know you've got it. There's a little bit left right there. Then once you get those done, then we can start painting. The small tires on the front are in 2 halves each, and they also have a bit of a seam line on each of the halves. So what I'm going to do is glue these tires together first, and then I'll sand them smooth. Okay, so Trumpeter does not give us a color call out for the overall color of this tractor. The tires we know are going to be a tire black or NATO black or flat black. There's going to be some aluminum parts here and there, like the gear shift cover. The dashboard will be black. But I think the overall color of the tractor, including the wheel hubs, we're going to paint them some sort of navy gray. And I've got several grays to choose from in my Tamiya paints, so I'm going to pick one out that I like. You know, there's since they don't tell you what exact color to paint it. So I'm going to go ahead and start on that now. Do the tires themselves black. The inside hubs will be gray. Okay, so I'm going to be painting these tires with a brush, and I'm using NATO black, and I'm just going to go around and hit the tire like this. Kind of turn the tire as I apply the paint. And at this point I'm not worried about being real neat. I will worry about being neat when it comes to painting the inside of the wheel, where the spokes are. Right now I'm just generally going around and doing around that. I'm going to do the other side here a little bit. And there we go. There's one tire with the black painted on it. And we will put that in the clothespin like that. Set it aside to dry. Now we'll do that. Alright, so I'm doing the small tires now the same way. I have them on the end of a toothpick, and I just paint the tire, leave the middle portion gray, and I'll come back with the gray paint and do that after the black is dried. So here I have glued the engine block onto this chassis frame with the axles built into it, and I'm going to go ahead and paint this entire thing with NATO black, and then I'm going to go over it with a dry brush and then hit a few parts with the aluminum, flat aluminum, to give it some definition and make some of the detail stand out more. So with the NATO black on this engine block and the chassis frame, we're going to sit this aside and let it dry before we do any weathering to it, or not weathering so much, but dry brushing to bring out some definition. The tires are still drying, so I'm going to move on to the next step, which is adding the driver's seat, and I'm not sure what else these parts are, but driver's seat onto the rear end of the body. This is the rear portion of the tractor body. And right here we see the driver's seat. And the other two items we're putting on are these two things right here. So, looks like a total of 6 parts for this particular step. So since the body of the tractor is going to be gray, the seat is going to be black, and these little foot blocks, or whatever they are going to be a yellowy orange. I don't want to glue all these parts together yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint this body section first, the gray, then paint the seat and these foot blocks separately, and then attach them all. And while I'm at it, these two parts here on the sprue are part of the tractor also. So I'm going to go ahead and paint those while they're on the sprue. And I'm just brush painting. Okay. This seat gets to be black. Set that aside to dry. Okay, the wheels went on with no problems. I got the shifter installed. All the other parts are ready to go. So it's just a matter of gluing all this stuff on, and then the tractor will be done. Here's the tractor all done. I put yellow on it, dirtied it up, because I figured this thing's sitting on an aircraft carrier's deck all the time, moving planes around, and equipment's going to get pretty dirty and filthy and stained and whatever. So there it is. And I liked it. It was a little model within the model kit. So next I'll be starting on the actual airplane. And that's it for this particular video. Thanks for watching.